started off that fight really well, hitting all the dodges. I believe that was my, not including the attempt I made at the end of the last episode, which wasn't much of an attempt so much as it was just a slaughter getting completely one-shotted. That was, I believe, my fifth attempt? Fifth or fourth attempt, something like that. To give you an idea of how long I've been trying, so not that long, but subtract 11 and a half minutes by whatever time the video is at now, and that's how long I've been recording and trying to defeat the boss. Until I figured out that, like, how to get the boss trapped in that swing one way, swing the other, and then bolt away with an AoE attack. So I figured, roll into the first one, attack him, and then roll away before he does the bolt away AoE attack. Prior to that, I came close a couple times, but the problem is that the margin for error is so tiny that if you get hit basically with one of those charge attacks, you're essentially dead. But yes, hello, and welcome to... This is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my blind playthrough of Bloodborne. This is episode 10, and while I explore the boss room here, and I suppose that the prize we are coming away with, because certainly doesn't seem to be much in the way of blood echoes as a reward, just under 2,000, and I believe I had 0, so that would probably be the precise number, 1866. The important thing we came away with, I think, would be the Chalice. A chalice that breaks a labyrinth seal, but only a root chalice changes the shape of the old labyrinth when used in a ritual. The old labyrinth was carved out by the Thumerians, superhuman beings that are said to have unlocked the wisdom of the Eldritch truth. So, no idea what to make of any of that just yet. These chandeliers are rather nice, as are spider webs throughout the boss room. And to be fair to the Chalice dungeons, I was complaining in the last episode that, the loot in the Chalice dungeon seemed only to apply to the Chalice dungeon, ignoring the fact that I had picked up a fair number of gems with which to infuse my weapons. So, and I assumed that the harder the Chalice dungeon, the better the drops will be. And this was the very lowest rung that I could have unlocked. So, although at the same time I did have I struggled a fair bit, it's fair to say, throughout this Chalice dungeon. But it's done, and so for the time being I'm going to leave the Chalice dungeons as they are and progress with the story. Okie dokes. So I believe this is where we need to be. We are looking to ascend to the tomb of Aegon.
Ah, the hunter. Thank you. So that old girl, you told her about this place, right? Well, she don't offer me much. I'd rather see her alive anyhow. If you find any sane survivors, well, send them along to Erden Chapel, will ya?
Okay. Is she implying that this lady is insane? We haven't talked to her for a little while, so let's say hello.
You. Stay away from me. I know all you.
So she's still as talkative and friendly as ever, I see. Did we ever end up going this way? I neglected an entire path, didn't I? Interesting. Hello. Too many branching paths, can't keep track of them all. Hello. Oh, these are the guys with the crazy kicks, aren't they? And the rather substantial health pool. Yo, you gotta finish your animations before you start a new attack. That's not fair. And your crazy Bruce Lee rock kicks. I do not like this enemy one bit. Wow, look at that damage. Oh no. Thank you. Better drop like 15 blood vials or something. Oh, okay. I will take that. I think we need 3 to upgrade my weapon to +4. That's the first twin bloodstone shard I got. Madman's knowledge, so some more humanity or insight, depending on whether he's in Dark Souls terms or not. Hello, Crow. Completely didn't occur to me that, yeah, so just got overwhelmed by the sheer number of branching paths that completely neglected to remember to come back here. Yes, I see you too. These gentlemen look startlingly like stereotypical alien. The color of their skin. Oh, a wooden shield. A crude wooden shield used by the masses who have arisen to join the hunt. Hunters do not normally employ shields, ineffectual against the strength of the beast as they tend to be. Shields are nice, but not if they engender passivity. So that's kind of breaking the fourth wall type item description there, referring to just the whole design philosophy around the game and wanting to discourage players from the passive approach of block and then counterattack that Miyazaki didn't seem to like with respect to the previous Souls games. So I guess just to reinforce the point even further of how ill-suited shields are in this game, there doesn't seem to be any damage reduction section anymore. Just out of curiosity, let's pop it on and see what it's... So yeah, I can't imagine you can parry with it either, because, yeah, I know. So if you can't parry with it, there's really no point in having it, at least as far as I'm concerned. Excuse me. I wonder if that's the bell all the way back in, or at least the same bell that we were hearing while in Old Yarnum, or Central Yarnum, not Old Yarnum. Closed by a device. Okay, well, at least we got the Twin Bloodstone shard out of this little diversion. Seems that we must continue along the other path. To, as I believe, the scribe, or the note, where Gehrman was sitting, said that we must ascend to the Odin Temple, so... I'm assuming that these other spots are going to be where other NPCs might end up. Unless this is the door that was opened. Interesting. I don't remember this being open before at all. So we must have triggered this somehow. I don't know with what. That's one quick elevator. Send it back down. Alright. Back to making progress. Oh, there's a chest. Oh my. Are you kidding me? Come on. Oh my god, it's a wheelchair height. A wheelchair user, I should say. Alright. Beware of... Yeah. I was gonna say, if there's no messages here, then we should leave one, but there's a couple there, so... That's fair enough. And surely enough, knowing that as soon as you see the chest, you're just gonna run forward. Still no mimics. But I'm ready for it when that time comes. Communion. I was raised Catholic. I don't consider myself Catholic anymore. But funnily enough, it's just funny thinking that, it's been some odd 15 years or something since I've received communion, and I'm going to be receiving it. Higher blood vial maximum. Interesting. Only by 1, but a secret symbol left to Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. Several runes relate to blood, including communion, which raises the maximum number of blood vials one may carry. This rune represents the healing church and its ministers. Blood ministration is, of course, the pursuit of communion. So do we use it? Doesn't appear as though we can. I don't know why my voice is cracking. I apologize. I mentioned it's been some 15 years or something since I've... Whoa! Crap! Since I've been to church. I am 28, so I am well through puberty. So I'm not sure why my voice is cracking. I guess I have recorded a few episodes today, so perhaps I'm just... Okay, at least I can handle it if it's not a guy with a minigun or a chain gun or whatever. Healing Church Workshop. Look at that sun. I realize we have some new gestures to test out at some point, but just have to do a quasi praise the sun gesture. If only to lighten up this. Oh, Crystal Lizard! Where are you going? No! No! I need twin bloodstone shards really bad. And you better drop at least one. Yes! Okay, so we can get our weapon up to +4 now. I hope that I didn't get myself into a pickle by having dropped down there, but I'd really like to know what the actual name is of that thing. It's certainly nowhere near as cute as a crystal lizard. It does seem as though, at least now when they run away, they don't seem to disappear. They do seem to put you in rather precarious positions, but at least they don't disappear. So Blighttown 2.0? Yeah, I'm beginning to think that maybe chasing that crystal lizard wasn't the brightest idea, but Messenger Top Hat. hat that messengers are oddly fond of. A nice top hat rounds out any Yarnum gentleman. The inhabitants of the stump appear to have an interest in adornment. Why not let them be happy and revel as babes? Okay. That'd be kind of crappy, I guess, if that is the same as the pre-order bonus messenger top hat, which I figured out actually how finally to activate. And there's a free download on the PSN Marketplace, presumably only if you pre-ordered the game, but I guess it doesn't really matter if that's the same thing, that everyone will have access to it eventually. Madman's Knowledge. Alright, so how do we get out of here? Time for Unbreakable Wills. All's well. Okay. You get extra points for making your message essentially nonsensical. Okay, let's heal up. It's so dark. Okay, I guess it's time finally to bust out the torch. Oh, well, that doesn't help at all. I have a feeling this is not going to end well. Alright. I'll take it. Are there any enemies down there? Oh, don't tell me those are dogs. I really hope those aren't dogs. Beware of unknown thing. Oh, Healing Church. Time for rolling, indeed. Ah! Can I roll onto that there? Or should I jump? Whew. Maybe I shouldn't have read that message. Unless, of course, you can get there by rolling. I don't actually know. Okay, I thought those like piles of ash over there were dogs. I'm rather pleased to see that they're not. Or at least they don't seem to be. No, yeah. Just piles of dirt. Are you an enemy? Time for sneak attacks. I guess you are. Beast. Is that another room? A secret symbol left by Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. A transcription of the roar of a labyrinth beast, the bearer of the beast rune, has accentuated temporary transformation effects. Beast is one of the early Carol runes, as well as one of the first to be deemed forbidden. The discovery of blood entailed the discovery of undesirable beasts. This is going to be a lot of that in this playthrough, of me reading an item description and then just going, or saying, I don't know what to think, I don't know what to make of that. And yeah, that's certainly one of those cases. So this appears to be one of those incense burners, which means that there should be an NPC here.
A night of curses. A night to remember. Wouldn't you say, friend?
Okay. I was thinking that maybe we would be given an option of letting her know about the Odin Chapel. But given the instructions of the woman there, she said that basically she doesn't want undesirable types there. I don't know how she would define that, but that person certainly doesn't seem like they are all there. Understandably so, given their current predicament. Oh no, there's a dog. Oh. Did I just knock over one of those bottles? Oh, that's cool. Crap. Alright. Pulling my weapon in. Just R1 spam like crazy there. And I'm not even ashamed of it. More Madman's knowledge. Oh no! Why? I don't like you. Go away. Here comes the crazy unstoppable kick animation. There it is. Basically one-shot you with that. That is not at all my... Oh, it's just a Bloodstone Shard, alright. I will deal with those enemies insofar as it nets me twin Bloodstone Shards. Bloodstone Shards, not at all worth it for dealing with that stupid kick. So the steam there is rising up from what seems to be a sewage system, rather than a lantern that can be broken. Got a fair number of branching paths here. Shit. Running a tad low on blood vials. It would be really nice to find a lantern about now. Ah. Stupid dogs. Please, lantern. Or perhaps shortcut? Kind of funny how the cloth physics doesn't seem to mesh very well with elevators. Thick cold blood. Ah, the other side of the gate. Very nice. Shortcut. Very, very nice. Okay, that's just as good as his lantern. Ladder. I have a feeling like this is a trap. Or maybe not. Numbing mist. Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Throw to create a mist cloud that numbs a hunter's life essence and prevents the restoration of HP. Said to be used by blood hunters of Canehurst. Its recipe is a secret closely guarded by the line of nobles inhabiting the castle. So, I'm assuming this is a Lloyd's talisman. Cool. Very, very cool. Still surprised I haven't been invaded once yet, though. Assuming that, what I recall hearing about the matchmaking system, and that is that it's soul level based and not based on, soul memory or anything like that. Or I guess, would it be in this game blood level? I don't know. Whatever the case is, assuming that what I heard was correct, that matchmaking is once again based on the level, I had assumed that I would be getting invaded like crazy. Another messenger hat. Though another possibility for why that might not be occurring is that at this moment, actually, I just realized I'm uploading, believe it's episode 5, so I guess just to give you an idea of a little bit how far ahead I am at this moment, about 5 episodes ahead. It's recording episode 10, uploading episode 5. I have episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9 to edit. But yeah, it doesn't appear as though we got anywhere else to go here, so I might as well just roll down. I did want to see if we missed anything when we drop down to chase that crystal lizard. So let's see if we can't find our way back to where we were, which I believe was this way. It's a good thing we sent the elevator back down. Although it's pretty fast either way, but still. It was this way. Forgot about that guy, or those guys up there. There's 2 of them, actually. Also forgot that I never dealt with the guys that are in there. Oh, see you later. Have a nice trip. Shit. Might need to return to the Hunter's Dream soon. And pull some... I did a fair bit of farming for both blood vials and quicksilver bullets. So we're pretty nicely stocked up on both of those. I believe I have, or at least prior to recording the episode, I think I had 40 or 50 of each in storage. Just doing more runs from the Central Yharnam bonfire, or Central Yharnam lantern, to the one after Father Gascoigne. So we're coming across a fair number of chests now. Still no mimic. Because I know the second I don't hit a chest and I just go right for it, it's going to be a mimic. I know it. Blood-tinged gemstone. Blood attack up 12.6%. So that one's definitely going to go in the pistol. Blood gem that fortifies weapons and adds various properties. Blood gems, okay. Circular blood gems are normally used to fortify firearms. So it's interesting that those are random. Or seemingly random. Their properties, that is. Which, okay. I guess can lend some credence to the comparison I made between them and... Oh, there's another wheelchair user. With a chain gun? Of course. Why wouldn't he have a chain gun? I'm sorry. FromSoft, I don't think... Like, the pistol's fine. And maybe it's just... I'm not a historian, but... part of my studies involves taking... Oh, please tell me it's not the animation cancel guy. Okay, it's... Oh, hello. Remember you're shooting... Oh. Shit. The second you start getting cocky, eh? Just so excited to get that guy back. This one of the snipers. A couple blood vials, we really needed those, so that's good. And a ladder. Okay, that was pretty satisfying. Thick cold blood. So we're getting a fair number of consumable souls. Okay, so by my time on my recording now, I'm at about 45 minutes. But keeping in mind the probably 9 minutes or so of footage of me fighting the boss at the end of that Chalice dungeon. I'm going to take my recording probably another 10 minutes. So, trying to keep the episodes, I think 45 minutes is a good compromise between having enough time to really kind of explore a given area, and without having to deal with introductions and cutting and stuff like that, while not making it so short that, essentially as soon as you really start getting into it, you have to stop and you have to, save the audio, save the video, and yeah, it can be really hard if you're recording only, half an hour at a time to really find a rhythm. Okay, so I guess it's just him in there. Famous last words? So a similar guy to those from the first area, but these ones have a fair bit more health. And these don't even look human. Or are those just masks that they're wearing? Radiant Sword Hunter Badge. I did mention earlier on in the playthrough that I really hope that there's just a plain sword, but a sword in the sense of just... There was I believe the Kirk hammer, which looked like it was half sword, half hammer, which is cool, but yeah, I just want a sword. I am getting kind of tired of the saw cleaver, if I'm being perfectly honest. We have our vitality and endurance both at 15, our strength and skill at 20. Yeah, so I'm hoping that badge we just picked up, one of the badges crafted by the Healing Church. The Radiant Sword indicates the heirs to the will of Ludwig. These hunters, also known as Holy Blades, are what remains of an ancient line of heroes that date back to a very early age of honor and chivalry. Okay, I'm liking the sounds of that. Because if you watch my excuse me. Yeah, I'm beginning to lose my voice here. So we should probably wrap this up soon. I assume this is a boss ahead. And I have 9,600 souls, or blood echoes. Well, damn it. Okay. Let's explore for another 5 minutes or so. Can this be open? So I'm wondering, because with all the other badges, that opened up. Okay, so there's actually a difference between the two hats that we picked up. I thought they were the same ones. Yeah, so the other badges we picked up opened up new... Inspect. The sky and the cosmos are one. The choir. Cool. What did that message say? Reeks of special medicine. Sure. Perhaps I'm too generous with my ratings, but I very much enjoy when someone rates my messages, so I like to spread that joy to others. It is a rather grim world after all. Alright, well, I'm certainly glad that we came to explore the upper parts of this tower, because that crystal lizard, yeah, had I forgotten, after being led this way, led to the lower parts of this tower by the crystal lizard. Oh, so I thought that was another scroll that could be read, but it was just a normal note. Yeah, then we might not have found the Radiant Sword Hunter badge, which I'm really hoping will unlock when we return to the Bath Messengers an actual sword. That would be very cool. And I believe I have just enough Bloodstone shards to be able to get the sword to the same level as the Saw Cleaver, but also 3... Oh! Let's try stepping off there. There's so much to explore in this game. It can be just terribly overwhelming at times. Well, not terribly overwhelming, but certainly overwhelming. You've come to the right place. Nothing but ruins here. Okay, I like the sounds of that. But presumably enemies as well? No? Yeah, lots of chests in this area. Formless Odin. Odon. I've been avoiding looking at the trophies because I don't want to spoil anything by looking at the trophies. So I am interested to look at those eventually. But a secret symbol left by Carol, runesmith of Bergenworth. So we're learning a lot about this Caril or Carol person. The Great One Odin, lacking form, exists only in voice and is symbolized by this rune. Those who memorize it enjoy a larger supply of Quicksilver bullets. Human or no, the oozing blood is a medium of the highest grade, and the essence of the formless Great One, Odin. Both Odin and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek the precious blood. So Odin is beginning to sound a lot like the old one. And I mentioned that, and I described the characters, the characters who use faith in Demon Souls as a faith covenant. But if I recall correctly, in fact, there are no covenants in Demon Souls. But yeah, I was mentioning that in the context of, and I'm trying to recall how Franz, a German spy, put it in his blind run of Demon Souls. But essentially that, very cool. Very cool how that just wrapped around on itself. But yeah, Franz described how the characters who use faith in that game, I'm thinking of the name Sage Frake, but I think that might be on the opposite side of intelligence or whatever the equivalent was in Demon Souls. How their use of miracles proved that, God existed and that God loved them and so on and so forth. But, in fact, the source of their power was the old one. And so just that line about inadvertent worshippers really starting to lead me to believe that this may in fact just be, trillions and trillions of cycles later in the world of Demon Souls. And that would be like an enormous extension of the idea that I had in, that I expressed in my Dark Souls 2 Let's Talk Lore series, whereby essentially Dark Souls 2, the world of Dark Souls 2, is the result of successive random variations in the world, from the world of Dark Souls 1. And I'm not going to get into great detail. You're more than welcome to go watch that playthrough if you want to see how I came to that conclusion, because a big part of what I talk about in that is how things can't really be separated from their context. And so, far be it for me to try and do that with my own playthrough and my own ideas. So, I would recommend going to watch that if you're enjoying this playthrough, and if you're able to tear yourself away from Bloodborne videos. If not, I totally understand. But I'm just musing about that possibility for now. And certainly at some point later on, I suppose we'll see if it's plausible that I'm right, or if it seems that I'm wrong. Whatever the case, I will admit to that. But certainly very interesting, the idea of them inadvertently worshipping Odin. So rather than cutting the episode here, I'm going to return to the Hunter's Dream, and we're going to see if we have a sword that we can purchase from the Bath Messengers. Oh, this what is this guy holding now? It looks like a box of some sort. So they're certainly good at marketing their wares. Okay, keep your fingers crossed, everyone. Yes! Oh my... Oh, it's 20,000. Shit scaling, too. Like, god-awful scaling. Which is starting to lead me to believe that maybe I should just start leveling my vitality and endurance until... yeah. Well, it looks like I'm going to need to farm a fair number... of blood echoes before purchasing that sword, but... yeah, I think I'm going to do that off camera. And so hopefully at the start of episode 10, I will have a more Aegon of Astora-like weapon. So yes, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.